Hello YouTube, my name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got plenty to go around. As you can tell by the title of the thumbnail of the video, this is my WWE Raw review on highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys think of Monday Night Raw, because it was a good show, and I give the show an 8.9 out of 10. So Michael Cole and Corey Grace was the commentary. And thank you guys so much for coming out to my 7-hour live stream for my WWE 2K26, where I beat the entire showcase mode live on Twitch. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Raw was a good show when it was, and I give this show an 8.9 out of 10. We're 4 weeks away from WrestleMania 42. Alright, then, now, forever together. The WWE video leads us to the show. The WWE drone flies us over to the city of Boston. Dominic Mysterio is shown entering the building alongside with Liv Morgan and the rest of the Judgment Day. Bayley and Lara Kira are shown talking. They have faced the Kabuki Warriors, World Tag Team Champions. The Usos are shown arriving. Giovanni Evans is shown entering. He'll face Grayson Waller. He greets Ice Show Speed. Tonight's World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk and Roman Reigns will be on the Roan Roof. I cannot wait for that closing segment. How good that was. We're 26 nights away from WrestleMania 42. Allegiant Giant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada is shown. Video package. WWE puts together a great video package to put over Femi attacking Brock Lesnar and answering his open challenge for WrestleMania 42 last week on Raw. And Femi has to win. Yeah, Femi has to win. He has to win at WrestleMania 42 against Brock Lesnar. So that's all I gotta say. Alright, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman address Femi. Brock Lesnar music hits to a huge ovation. The Beast Incarnate comes out alongside Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar is wearing a cowboy hat and a shirt that says FA5. Paul Heyman greets the crowd and says he serves as the advocate of the only being on the planet to hold the NCAA, UFC, and WWE Heavyweight Champion. The main event of WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar. The crowd is chanting Femi. Brock Lesnar is furious. Paul Heyman warns the crowd that they're pissing off Brock Lesnar. The reason they're doing that is that they need to be honest about what happened last week. Last week, Brock Lesnar laid to waste maybe 20 masked men, throwing them everywhere. Then got distracted by Seth freaking Rollins. This win a man so overhyped by WWE that invoked his gag reflex came down. Took advantage of the fact that Brock Lesnar was in 20 fights and was distracted by Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman says he's talking about Femi. This is the saddest part of it all. How many times have we heard the same narrative coming out of WWE hype machine? When Brock Lesnar conquered the Undertaker's streak, did he get revenge? No. They came all the people who were supposed to be the ones to beat the one in the 21-1. It wasn't Goldberg, Braun Strowman, Dean Ambrose, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, or the greatest of all time, John Cena. It won't be Femi who got his WrestleMania moment by putting a foot on Brock Lesnar's chest, pointing to the WrestleMania 42 sign. That's his WrestleMania 42 moment. Femi will be victimized and conquered by Brock Lesnar. Listen, Femi is loved by the crowd, and that's all I gotta say. But Femi has to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. There is no way that Femi is not going to lose to Brock Lesnar. So I got Femi beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. Whether you guys like it or not. Anyway, let me continue. The lights go out and Femi music hits. Femi shatters down to the ring to a big ovation. Femi stands in the ring across from Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar kicks him and lifts him for an F5. Femi slides off and clotheslines the Beast over the top rope. Brock Lesnar is stunned at ringside, as is Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman pleads with Brock Lesnar to walk it off and go to the back. Brock Lesnar shouts that Obafemi isn't that lucky. Brock Lesnar smiles as he backs up the ramp. Obafemi posed in the ring. So Obafemi attacked Brock Lesnar twice. So Obafemi attacked Brock Lesnar last week on Raw, and then this week and last night on Monday Night Raw. Alright, this was a good segment to kick off Monday Night Raw. Another strong opening segment with Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. Obafemi is looking dominated. Will they play this story out the way it should go, or could Brock Lesnar get the better of him at WrestleMania 42? Hashtag WWE Raw. Video package. Dirty Dominic Mysterio says this match shouldn't even been happening. It's on Finn Balor's fault that he lost the Intercontinental Championship. Finn Balor got what he deserved. Now he can focus on Penta. Dominic Mysterio says he's the king of the luchadors. But last time I checked, JD Madonna, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez kick Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day. So Liv Morgan, Raquel, and JD Madonna attack Finn Balor. And then tonight, Finn Balor got his get back on Dominic Mysterio and JD Madonna. But we need that Demon Finn Balor at WrestleMania 42 against Dominic Mysterio. So that's all I gotta say. But I'm happy that Finn Balor got his get back on JD Madonna and Dominic Mysterio. Penta will defend his WWE Intercontinental Championship against Dirty Dominic Mysterio later tonight. Arena Concourse. World Tag Team Champions, the Usos, make their entrance. So we go to commercial break. Video package. Footage is showing of Logan Paul getting into it with NFL Tom Brady at a flag football game over the weekend. World Tag Team Championship. The Usos main event. Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso versus Division, Logan Paul and Austin Theory. And this was a fun tag team match, but thank God the Usos retained. And that's all I gotta say. Jey Uso and Austin Theory start the match. Austin Theory gains the advantage early and tags Logan Paul in. Austin Theory takes Jimmy Uso out at ringside in the ring. Logan Paul takes it to Jey Uso. Division has the advantage, so we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Jimmy Uso wipes out Logan Paul with a step-up enziguri. Michael Cole pays tribute to the late Dennis Condrey. Jey Uso and Austin Theory tag in. Jey Uso hits a pair of clotheslines and punches away at him with some thread tricks. Jey Uso pushes him into the corner, and Austin Theory rips the turnbuckle pad off. Austin Theory throws it at him and goes for a Rolling Thunder attack. Jey Uso catches him, but Austin Theory takes him down for a 2 count. Jey Uso does a clothesline and hits a spear. Jey Uso goes to the top rope, but Logan Paul crushes him up there. Jimmy Uso grabs Logan Paul, but Logan Paul drives him into the ring post. Logan Paul takes out the brass knuckles, but LA Knight music hits. LA Knight attacks Logan Paul from behind, sending him into the ring post. LA Knight slides the brass knuckles into the ring. Jey Uso puts the brass knuckles on, but the referee is watching him. Jey Uso then knocks Austin Theory out with the brass knuckles. The referee calls for the bell. The winners by disqualification division. The Usos retain the World Tag Team Champions, I'm happy about that. Jey Uso runs back in the ring and knocks Logan Paul out with the brass knuckles. So that's a big W by Jey Uso for knocking Logan Paul out with the brass knuckles. Because I do not like Logan Paul and the WWE. And that's all I got to say. Let me continue. Video package. Last week on Raw, Roman Reigns called CM Punk old, prompting the World Heavyweight Champion to punch him in the face. But Roman Reigns got his get back on CM Punk. Because Roman Reigns called CM Punk old and CM Punk threw the first punch. But last time I checked, CM Punk disrespected Roman Reigns' deadbeat father. And that's why Roman Reigns acted a certain way he acted. So let me continue. Backstage segment. A dejected Becky Lynch is walking backstage. We'll hear from her next. So we go to commercial break. Becky Lynch addresses AJ Lee. This was a good segment for what it was. But Becky Lynch is just a sore loser. She's blaming everything on Jessica Carr. Jessica Carr did a good job as a referee. So Becky Lynch was cheating at the Elimination Chamber. So Jessica Carr did a good job. And Becky Lynch wants Jessica Carr suspended. But Jessica Carr's still working as a referee in WWE. But I had to put this out there. But let me continue. The man Becky Lynch heads to the ring. Becky Lynch can't believe they boo her and cheer someone who abandoned them for a decade. She gets taking breaks. Becky Lynch took a 10-month off, not 10 years. She did it because the people got sick of seeing her succeed. She went home to her family and people who appreciated her like her daughter and husband. Becky Lynch came back and turned the title into the most important women's title in all of wrestling. She's proud of that title and what it represents. Becky Lynch made that title. Now she has to watch as AJ Lee prance around like she deserves the title after it was robbed of her at Elimination Chamber. She tried to go home to her sanctuary and be with the people she loved. When she went home, her daughter was singing "Light It Up" song, skipping around the house, and freckling her hair like that Jersey scum. It was like her daughter didn't realize her mom is the greatest of all time, according to Sports Illustrated and the Bleacher Report. AJ Lee claimed to frame that the frame is that she mastered the Divas era. Becky Lynch murdered the Divas era and rips the butterfly rings off. Women's Intercontinental Champion AJ Lee charged down to the ring, but Becky Lynch gets out of the ring and escapes through the crowd. AJ Lee is not happy. AJ Lee stands on the commentary table and says Becky Lynch likes to fight dirty. Maybe she has to embarrass her one more time and tap her out on the biggest stage of them all, which is WrestleMania 42. AJ Lee says Becky Lynch wins. She'll show her why she is the best of her generation, and Becky Lynch, maybe the next. She's your favorite wrestler. She's your favorite wrestler, and Becky Lynch's daughter's favorite wrestler. AJ Lee will give Becky Lynch what she wants: a WrestleMania 42 match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch says AJ Lee skipped right into her trap. She has no idea she's in for. She can shine on Monday or Friday in any week. WrestleMania 42 is Becky Lynch's domain. That's where she's the man. Becky Lynch remembered the last time AJ Lee fought at WrestleMania. The next day, she handed in her resignation, and we didn't hear from her for a decade. At WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas, when Becky Lynch takes her title back, she'll save AJ Lee the trouble. Becky Lynch will end her, and we'll never hear from her again. Welcome to the big time. This was a good segment between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. We already knew that Becky Lynch was going to lose at WrestleMania 42 against AJ Lee for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So AJ Lee's retained the Women's Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 42. Alright, because I'm a big fan of AJ Lee, and that's all I got to say. Backstage segment, World Tag Team Champions, the Usos are walking backstage with LA Knight. LA Knight says Jey Uso is starting to act like Roman Reigns. Just take expectation to that. Jimmy Uso calms his brother Jey Uso down. Jimmy Uso warns LA Knight to mind his words when he speaks about their family. Backstage segment, Giovanni Evans is warming up backstage. He'll face Grayson Waller next. So we go to commercial break. Boston Celtics guard Derek White is at ringside with Coach Joe Mazzulla. They get a huge ovation. Alright, so we go to commercial break. Grayson Waller, accompanied by Kofi Kingston versus Giovanni Evans. This was a fun match to watch, and I love watching Giovanni Evans on Monday. I love watching Giovanni Evans on Monday Night Raw because Giovanni Evans got that dog in him. Ever since Giovanni Evans came from NXT to the main roster, Giovanni Evans got that dog in him. And that's all I gotta say. Jessica Carr was the referee in this match. They lock up and Grayson Waller applies his side headlock. Giovanni Evans whips him off, but Grayson Waller shoulder tackles him. Grayson Waller hits the ropes, so Giovanni Evans draws him and leapfrogs him. Grayson Waller does the same. Giovanni Evans backflips away from him and drop kicks him down. Giovanni Evans bounces around the ring with a springboard hurricanrana. Giovanni Evans gets a huge suicide dive and they nearly spice himself on his head. Whoa. Giovanni Evans puts Grayson Waller in the ring and goes to the top rope for a diving crossbody block. 1-2. Grayson Waller kicks out. Grayson Waller knees him in the midsection and throws him out of the ring. Grayson Waller distracts the referee, but Kofi Kingston won't attack Giovanni Evans. Grayson Waller isn't happy and asks if he's going to help. Giovanni Evans wipes him out with a dive to the outside and jumps on the commentary table, inspired up, saying that we outside. That part was funny. They doing a little bit of tease that Kofi Kingston is going to turn on Grayson Waller. They teasing about that. So we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Grayson Waller boosts Javon Evans in the face. Javon Evans responds with a super kick. Javon Evans punches away at Grayson Waller and kicks him in the spine. Javon Evans hits a springboard clothesline and gets to his feet. Javon Evans hits the red dot for a near fall. Grayson Waller rocks Javon Evans with their forearm. Javon Evans fires back with some kicks and hits the ropes, but Grayson Waller needs him in the face. Javon Evans hits the ropes, but Grayson Waller punches him down. Grayson Waller hits him into the ropes, and Javon Evans slips, attempting something, but he saved himself and hits a German suplex. Javon Evans leaps over Grayson Waller and kicks him as he slides back into the ring. Javon Evans hits him in the face and head to the top rope, but Grayson Waller crushes him up there. Grayson Waller flips over him and hits him up prettier for the 2 count. Grayson Waller sends Javon Evans into the ring post. Grayson Waller heads to the top rope, but Javon Evans attacks him. Javon Evans climbs to the second rope and punches away at him. Javon Evans leaps to the top rope, hits a standing top rope Super Hurricanrana, and heads to the top rope for an Ochikoto for the win. Wow. The winner by pinfall, Javon Evans. This was a fun match to watch. My favorite part is that Javon Evans hit a Super Hurricanrana and then the Ochikoto. That was like my favorite highlight of the night right there. Javon Evans wins this match. Javon Evans got that dog in him. This was a fun match to watch. I love Javon Evans in the WWE. And Javon Evans is the future world champion in the WWE. And that's all I gotta say, because Javon Evans got that dog in him. And that's all I gotta say from here. Alright, let me move on. It says backstage segment. Raw general manager Adam Pearce is outside the trainer's room. Paul Heyman walks up. Paul Heyman wants Adam Pearce to schedule a match with the Usos defending the World Tag Team Championships against the Vision in a Madison Square Garden in a street fight. Adam Pearce says he's giving him something to consider. Paul Heyman starts to shout, but he calms himself down. Paul Heyman goes to leave, but Adam Pearce stops him. Adam Pearce tells him to go to the ring because he made time for him to address Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman doesn't want to, but Adam Pearce makes him. So we go to commercial break. The WWE Hall of Fame is coming on WrestleMania weekend. So we get Paul Heyman addresses Seth Rollins, and this was a good segment for what it was, in my opinion. But my favorite part is when Seth Rollins attacked Paul Heyman. That was a highlight of the night. Paul Heyman is in the ring, looking dejected. Paul Heyman says he's having a bad night, and is not happy about being relegated to a constructional appearance in Boston, Massachusetts. He's having a bad night because there is no one left to hide behind. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker will not be back anytime soon. Brock Lesnar was so pissed off that he left the arena. Logan Paul and Austin Theory have considered that just leave him. Paul Heyman has a stalker, a jaded ex. He finances himself as a visionary, and his name is Seth freaking Rollins, despite the character he portrays on television. He's a newsflash. He's a man who has been pushed too far. Seth Rollins feels the same way. WWE isn't big enough for the two of them. That's not a challenge for WrestleMania 42 or tonight. Paul Heyman won't stand a chance, but what other choices does he have? Maybe it's time Seth Rollins came down here and put him out of his misery. Maybe it's time to do this right here and now. Paul Heyman looks around. Paul Heyman says he's afraid of circumstances like this, but sometimes a man has to do what a man has to do. A masked man appears at ringside as Paul Heyman stands in the ring and holds his arm out. The man gets on the commentary table. Paul Heyman doesn't notice him. Paul Heyman is waiting. Seth Rollins takes his mask off, and the police shows up to stop him from getting in the ring. Paul Heyman smiles. Seth Rollins smiles back. Paul Heyman says men and his family are snitches who files a restraining order and lawsuits. Seth Rollins violated the restraining order and will go to jail as a criminal. He will be divorced by his wife and married off the half of the locker room. Then his daughter will be put in a child protective service. Paul Heyman himself will adopt her. Seth Rollins has heard enough and escaped through the police to run down to the ring. Paul Heyman throws a microphone at Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins gets up and forearms him in the face. The police drag Seth Rollins away as Paul Heyman smiles evilly in the ring. But Paul Heyman was being very disrespectful by Seth Rollins' family. You don't play around by Seth Rollins' family, Paul Heyman. That was so disrespectful of what Paul Heyman just said about Seth Rollins' family. But this gives me that Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon's vibe of the Attitude Era from WWF. And that's all I gotta say. This was a good segment, but Seth Rollins stood on business against Paul Heyman, and that's all I gotta say. All right, let me continue. So we go to commercial break. Tag team match: the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Bayley and Lyra Kira. This was a decent match. What it was, decent tag team match. What it was. Bayley will start against Asuka. Kairi Sane distracts Bayley and Asuka takes Bayley down. Asuka sends Bayley into the ropes, but Bayley holds on and knocks her back. Lyra Kira tags in and strikes away at Asuka. Bayley tags back in and hits a running elbow, followed by a sliding clothesline from a 2 count. Kairi Sane pulls Asuka out of the ring and checks on her. They avoid a sliding drop kick from Bayley. Asuka knees Bayley in the face. Lyra Kira comes over, but Kairi Sane hits a stiff backhand. The Kabuki Warriors tag double team Bayley in the ring with big strikes before posing in the ring. So we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Lyra Kira soon starts to take it to Kabuki Warriors, hitting them with a diving crossbody block. Lyra Kira crushes Kairi Sane with a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Kairi Sane gets out of a suplex attempt. Lyra Kira ducks a backhand and goes for a suplex, but Kairi Sane counters into a DDT. Kairi Sane boots Lyra Kira back, and Asuka blonde tags in. Asuka hits a cold breaker, followed by an attack from Kairi Sane for a 2 count. Asuka sends Lyra Kira to the corner, but Lyra Kira backflips over her and hits a heel kick. Bayley tags in and goes to the second rope. Lyra Kira hits Asuka with a fisherman's buster, followed by a diving elbow from Bayley for a near fall. Bayley isn't happy. Asuka hits Bayley with the German suplex as Lyra Kira tags in. Lyra Kira knocks Kairi Sane off the apron, but Asuka quickly stunts her with a strike. Asuka puts Lyra Kira in a trio bowl and tags Kairi Sane in. Kairi Sane hits a double stomp 1-2. Bayley breaks it up. Asuka quickly wipes Bayley out with a kick, knocking her out of the ring. Bayley hits Asuka with a belly to belly on the commentary table. Bayley climbs to the commentary table and goes for a diving elbow, but Asuka moves. Lyra Kira takes out the Kabuki Warriors with a reckoning ball drop kick. Lyra Kira grabs Kairi Sane and hits a Nightwing for the win. The winner by pinfall, Bayley and Lyra Kira. This is a decent tag team match for what it was. Jackie Redman gets in the ring and congratulates Bayley and Lyra Kira on beating the Kabuki Warriors as they feeling the pressure to get to WrestleMania 42. Bayley says they are feeling good. Lyra Kira says Nia Jax and Lash Legend have had their names on their mouths. Bayley says they will be in the world's most famous arena next week. The crowd boos. Bayley then asks them to cheer for Bayley and Lyra Kira to win. That gets a tepid response. Okay, you already know that Lash Legend and Lash Legend and Nia Jax are going to retain the Women's Tag Team Champions next week on Raw. Video package: Tiffany Stratton puts over NXT. Backstage segment: WWE Intercontinental Champion Penta is warming up and teaches I Show Speed his strut. Dragon Lee walks up and greets I Show Speed before thanking Penta for the match. So we go to commercial break. Never take a sip of my water. Okay, backstage segment. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce greets I Show Speed. Danhausen walks up to a nice reception and wants the password to I Show Speed's account to create a show called I Show Speedhausen. I Show Speed declines, so he gets cursed. I Show Speed is flabbergasted. That backstage segment was funny. So that's all I gotta say. Video package. Last Friday on SmackDown, Randy Orton addresses his attack on undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. Like I said on my WWE SmackDown review and highlights, Randy Orton has to get 15 at WrestleMania. What was the point by having Randy Orton becoming the number one contender at Elimination Chamber to have Randy Orton lose at WrestleMania 42 against Cody Rhodes? So Randy Orton has to get 15 at WrestleMania 42. If Randy Orton does not get 15 at WrestleMania 42, everybody's going to crash out and everybody's going to riot, and that's all I gotta say. But anyway, let me continue. Cody Rhodes will be on Pat McAfee's show this Wednesday. Backstage segment. Asuka is furious with Kairi Sane and blames her for the loss. Asuka tells her to make it up to her. Kairi Sane looks devastated as Asuka walks off. Io Sky walks up and says they had their ups and downs, but Kairi Sane deserves better than this, which is fast by Io Sky. Off screen, Asuka screams Kairi. Kairi Sane sadly goes after her. Raquel Rodriguez comes up and isn't happy that Io Sky got involved in her match last week. Io Sky says she'll interfere again if she got the chance. Raquel Rodriguez challenged her to a match next week on Raw. Io Sky accepts, but Kairi Sane needs to turn on Asuka immediately. Cause how you gonna blame Kairi Sane for Asuka's loss? Asuka just took the pinfall, and that's all I gotta say. All right. But I think Kairi Sane took the pinfall, but Asuka blames Kairi Sane. But Kairi Sane needs to leave Asuka, and that's all I gotta say. Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan make their entrance. Women's World Champion Stephanie McMahon attacks Liv Morgan from behind and punches away at her. Dominic Mysterio pulls Stephanie McMahon off, so she forearms him in the face. Referee runs out to help, but Liv Morgan fights back and attacks Stephanie McMahon. They run to the gorilla position. Stephanie McMahon slams her onto the floor. Liv Morgan managed to get away, and the referees finally restore order. And Liv Morgan was talking down on Stephanie McMahon, but the crazy part is Liv Morgan was getting everything handed to her, while Stephanie McMahon has to crawl from the Indies to get to the WWE, and that's facts by itself. But don't nobody want to talk about that. But it's just facts though. I'm just putting it out there. Anyway, so we go to commercial break. So we get the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Dirty Dominic Mysterio accompanied by JD Madonna versus Penta. This match was I'm not gonna say decent. I don't want to go overboard, but this match was fun for what it was, and that's all I gotta say. It was fun, but thank God Penta retained the Intercontinental Championship. Alicia Taylor goes to do the reintroductions. Dominic Mysterio attacks him from behind. Eddie Oregano backs him up and calls for the bell. Dominic Mysterio continues to attack Penta. Penta fires back with a strike and a backbreaker. Penta knocks him to the corner and hits a handstand slingshot corner dropkick. Dominic Mysterio knocks Penta out of the ring and hits a suicide dive into a DDT on the floor. Dominic Mysterio took a bit of a rough landing, so we go to commercial break. Alright, back from the break. Back from the break. Dominic Mysterio reverses a whip into the ropes, but Penta fights back. Penta hits a reverse sling blade, and Dominic Mysterio rolls out of the ring. Penta hits the top Conhilo. Penta sends Dominic Mysterio back into the ring and goes to the top rope for a diving crossbody block. Penta blocks a kick and hits a fisherman's buster for a 2 count. Penta grabs him, but Dominic Mysterio gets out. Penta soon hits the Penta driver for a near fall. Penta goes for a Mexican destroyer, but Dominic Mysterio counters with a Machoka driver for a 2 count. Dominic Mysterio knocks Penta into position and hits the ropes for a 619. But Penta super kicks him. Penta sets up for a Mexican destroyer, but JD Madonna distracts him. Dominic Mysterio knocks him into the ropes and hits a 619. Dominic Mysterio goes to the top rope, but he gets interrupted by Finn Balor. JD Madonna runs over to Finn Balor, but Finn Balor attacks him and takes him out on the stage. Dominic Mysterio is distracted by this, but he goes for a fall splash. Penta gets his knees up and picks up the win. The winner by pinfall and still your WWE Intercontinental Champion, Penta. And I'm so happy that Penta retained the WWE cannot. I'm so happy that Penta retained the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Thank God Dominic Mysterio lost, and that's all I gotta say. But I want the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania 42. Please, WWE, make that happen. And I was so happy that Finn Balor is finally free from the Judgment Day, and I'm so happy about that. Finn Balor gets in the ring and punches away at Dominic Mysterio before hitting a sling blade. Finn Balor hits Dominic Mysterio with a shotgun dropkick before hitting up to the top rope. JD Madonna pulls Dominic Mysterio out of the ring. So Finn Balor hits the ropes and takes them out with a somersault senton. Finn Balor gets Dominic Mysterio in the ring and grabs him by the leg to keep him from escaping. JD Madonna runs over, but Finn Balor hits a falling elbow drop. Dominic Mysterio escapes through the crowd. Finn Balor sized JD Madonna up, so Finn Balor sized JD Madonna up and hits him with a shotgun dropkick. Finn Balor heads to the top rope and hits the coup de grace. Finn Balor pulls in the ring. Dominic Mysterio looks worried as he watches from the crowd. Alright, let's move on. Oval Family got the better of Brock Lesnar once again early tonight. Next week on Raw from Madison Square Garden, Brock Lesnar returns. Women's Tag Team Champion Nia Jackson Lash versus Bayley and Lyra Kira. Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez. World Tag Team Champions The Usos versus The Vision in a New York Street Fight, which the Usos will get the win over The Vision of Austin Theory and Logan Paul. Gorilla position. World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk is walking in the gorilla position when he spots Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso warns him that his brother Jey Uso is on a war path. World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk heads to the ring to a big ovation. So we go to commercial break. So we get CM Punk addresses Roman Reigns' comments. This was a good closing segment to Raw. World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk is in the ring. In the ring, and the crowd is roaring. CM Punk asks if they heard what Jimmy Uso said to him before he came out here. CM Punk was warned to watch what he says because his brother Jey Uso, Roman Reigns' cousin, on one half of the tag team champions, Jey Uso's on a warpath. CM Punk suppose he should watch what he says, but the crowd doesn't want that. CM Punk says Roman Reigns can't do anything without his cousins. Nobody in the entire family can do anything by themselves. They always need help. Nobody in that family could be heavyweight champion of the world. CM Punk has them so shook that Roman Reigns gave the Samoans permission to come after him. 0 Samoans have tried him since. CM Punk says this is the talk business. They try to say and do things to each other to sell the big fight. That's CM Punk's job. Being in a blue-collar city like Boston has CM Punk tired of talking sticks and stones are empty words. Roman Reigns did say one thing last week that pissed him off. Roman Reigns called him old. It's not what he said, it's who he said it. CM Punk stands in the ring and says his young boy does not get to disrespect him and call him out. CM Punk asked Boston if he's old. The crowd shouted and some started a yes chant. CM Punk says if he said he wasn't there, known he's lying. He is old, but he's not ashamed of it. If he were ashamed, he'll cover up the gray whiskers with just for men, like Roman Reigns does. CM Punk is proud of what he's done. CM Punk is proud of what he's done at his age. He's middle age and crazy like Terry Funk. R.P. to Terry Funk. He's the same age as Noah Ryan when he beat Robin Ventura on a mound and threw no hitters. CM Punk says he's Mr. Game 7. The order gets more pressure he feels, the better he becomes. Age is just a number. Ask him how he feels. CM Punk is old, but he doesn't make people acknowledge him. CM Punk feels great. CM Punk feels like the best in the world. CM Punk asks the questions. It is great to be alive on Monday night in Boston, Massachusetts, or what? Roman Reigns is underestimating him. Last week, this old man dropped him on the mat with one punch. At WrestleMania 42, this old man will tie him up at WrestleMania 42 at the 20-minute mark. When all the old and jizz dries up, he'll jack him with the GTS. The old man will beat him. Someone who doesn't underestimate him and still got the job done was Gunther. Jey Uso couldn't get the job done. If he has to fight all of the Samoans, he'll start with Jey Uso. Is he going to yeet him to death? Trying to get my words right, but anyway. Main event, Jey Uso heads to the ring. CM Punk eagerly awaits Jey Uso getting in the ring. Jey Uso is fired up and paces in the ring. Jey Uso says CM Punk is old and has hit his head too many times because he's still out here running his mouth about his family. CM Punk is running his mouth about Jimmy Uso. They can do it right now. Jey Uso will run it back on his own. You know what? CM Punk says he's a fighting champion. Jimmy Uso comes down to the ring. Jimmy Uso tells Jey Uso that he understands how he's feeling. When he gets emotion, he doesn't think. Because of that, they got disqualified and have the titles on the line next week. They need to leave CM Punk to the OTC. Jey Uso says CM Punk has everything to do. CM Punk is talking, you know what, about their family. Jey Uso wonders where Roman Reigns is, but he's here. Let's do this. Roman Reigns makes his way to the ring. The crowd chant OTC. Roman Reigns stares at CM Punk before looking over at his cousin. CM Punk stares back at Roman Reigns with a smirk on his face. The crowd is loudly buzzing and singing Roman Reigns' name. Roman Reigns says the last time he checked, the Usos already had a tag team match. Jimmy Uso says that's right. Roman Reigns asks if he's done. Jimmy Uso says it is. Roman Reigns says he'll say this as respectfully as he can. Get your brother and leave my ring. CM Punk tells them to stay since Roman Reigns need the help. Jey Uso has heard enough and charges, but CM Punk smashes him in the head with a microphone. Jimmy Uso grabs CM Punk and Roman Reigns hits CM Punk with a Superman punch. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce and WWE officials run down to the ring to restore order. Jey Uso screams at Roman Reigns to do what he has to do. Jey Uso tells Roman Reigns to smash CM Punk. Roman Reigns gets in the ring and cuts the World Heavyweight Champion with a spear. Kicks CM Punk out of the ring and drives him into the ring post head first. Roman Reigns drives him into the ring post again, and CM Punk is out. Roman Reigns grabs CM Punk and gives him a powerbomb through the commentary table. Roman Reigns is fired up and talks trash to CM Punk. Roman Reigns walks off, but the crowd chants one more time. CM Punk is rolling in the reckoning of the table and laughing. Roman Reigns is irate as he heads to the back. CM Punk laughs and says he's not the one who needs help. This was one of the best closing segments of Monday Night Raw. This was the best closing segments throughout the entire show. This was some strong words between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. But I love this though. The way that Roman Reigns crashed out and destroyed CM Punk, the way that he did, but CM Punk did start it by disrespecting Roman Reigns' deadbeat father. So that's why Roman Reigns crashed out the way he crashed out. But this was one of the best closing segments of Monday Night Raw, and that's all I gotta say from here. And I love every second of it. Let me read you guys the quick match results. Division: Logan Paul and Austin Theory defeated the Usos. Main event: Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso by disqualification in a World Tag Team Championship match. But the Usos retained the Tag Team Championships, and I'm glad. G1 Evans defeated Grayson Waller. That match was fun. Bailey and Lyra Kira defeated the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, in their tag team match. Penta defeated Dirty Dominic Mysterio, thank God, and Penta retains the WWE Intercontinental Championship. And WWE Raw goes off the air. Alright, let me get my opinion about thinking about WWE Raw. Now, WWE Raw was a good show for what it was, and I give it an 8.9 out of 10. My favorite part on Raw was the closest segment between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. That was real. That was personal, but I love every second of it. But like I said, if you guys enjoy my WWE Raw review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning or towards the end. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys think of WWE Raw. And thank you guys so much for coming out to my 7-hour live stream. Thank you guys so much for coming out to my Twitch for 7 hours of me playing the WWE 2K26 Showcase mode. I'm loving every second of it, but I did not touch my rise. But here's one thing I gotta address. If you already pre-ordered WWE 2K26, why would they make us pay for the DLC? That doesn't make any sense. And then you mean to tell us, like, I speak for the wrestling community. You mean to tell me that you mean to tell us all that we have to wait for 6 months to play as the Hardy Boys in WWE 2K26? But the Hardy Boys should have been on the base roster, and that's all I gotta say. I'm just putting it out there. But anyway, I'm going to drop my WWE Raw. I'm going to have a Raw premiere tonight at around 5 o'clock a.m. for my WWE Raw review on highlights at around 5 p.m. right here on YouTube channel. So I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kids, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.